All statements by the crew are opinion. We do not own the content that we discuss. Listeners' discretion is advised. Welcome to Canon Misfire. I'm your Captain Sam.
First mate Alyssa.
And today we have a final first episode in Season 2.
Yay!
And it is Good Omens.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alyssa's been pretty obsessed with this, and I have decided to watch it, so now we are going to discuss it.
Alright, so Good Omens is a series that's based off of a book. We're only going to be discussing the show. That's the only thing that we watched.
You guys know I don't read books.
I'm planning to read the book, I swear. And we'll probably do like a bonus episode down the line. But it's by Amazon Studios and BBC Studios. It features David Tennant and Michael Sheen in just a pretty average like apocalypse kind of like story.
Okay, yeah. And the book was written by who again?
Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman.
Okay, I don't know books. So I just asked so that they knew, but like I don't know who these people are. Apparently they wrote something. So,
one of them wrote Coraline. So.
They're authors, guys. But okay, cool. That pretty much explains it. So it's about two historical...
It's a clusterfuck.
There's a demon and an angel, and they have known each other since the beginning of time. Mm-hmm. God's a woman. And the whole story takes place around from their meeting to the end of their world.
Yeah, Armageddon.
Our world, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's the basics without spoiling anything. So, from now on, we're going to warn you very vividly that if you have not watched Good Omens and you plan to watch Good Omens, go listen to a different...
Pause it real quick and watch the show and then press play.
I would listen to something else for now, and then whenever you get the chance to finish Good Omens, come back to us and definitely get to this point in the podcast, and then we'll continue. Okay. Awesome. Cool. We're all on the same page. Let's get into it. So, I watched it after you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's
so I've seen it twice now.
What is wrong with it?
There's a lot that I like, and like I said, I'm obsessed with. There's a lot that I don't like either. I think my main issue comes with like how it's marketed. It's very much like when you see any of like the commercials or the advertising or even the theme song, it's like just these angels and demon. Like it looks like the whole show is going to be about that. But then like when you actually watch it, they're like main characters, but there's a whole lot of other subplots and a lot of other things that I wasn't expecting going on too. And that's fine and everything if it really worked, but there was a lot about it that I didn't like.
Okay, so David Tennant plays Crowley the demon.
He changed it to Crowley.
Crowley the demon. And Michael Sheen plays Aziraphale the angel.
Wait, what's his name? Aziraphale.
Aziraphale. Okay.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
These are some crazy ass names.
These are crazy names. Wow. No, I agree with you on a lot of that because I did think that the whole story was just going to be about them, but then there's subplots with a witch who can like she knows everything that was going to happen in the future, mm-hmm. And then now her ancient ancestor has to like carry out the will that she has written down, and then there's a subplot of the boy who's actually the main focus of the story. I would consider him the main character, even though he doesn't do much for it.
He's just the Antichrist.
Yeah, he's the Antichrist. Like, that's the
catalyst of all the evil.
It's the thing that starts off the story.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Interesting. But I do want to point out that I do think that even though it doesn't feel like there's a lot going on with them, I would still consider them the main characters and the main focus of the story, because we do spend a lot of more time with their situation than with others.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely would still count them as the main characters. I just feel like it was like a weird... I guess marketing decision, because like I really didn't expect any of the other stuff.
Okay, so you were just like, you were just expecting to be like, it's the demon and the angel having fun throughout time.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I think my more main issues with it is that it's very bizarre. It's a weird series.
Well, it's English. So when I watched it, I was like, okay, I kind of get why certain things are happening in certain places.
That definitely is probably a more personal thing. I usually don't like British humor.
Yeah, and this is a comedy show?
Yeah. See, that's the thing, too, though. I feel like it's, like, it has weird themes. Like, or, like, a weird tone. Because, like, sometimes it's comedy, and then sometimes it's super serious, and then sometimes it's just bizarre.
Yeah, it's, like, certain decisions, like, costumes and, like, jokes and, like, appearances and stuff like that are all played up for jokes and laughs. But then there's, like, moments where, like, the kid is, like, controlling his friends.
It's like a horror movie.
It becomes, like, a really scary situation for everyone involved. It should be.
Yeah.
But it's still almost trying to be played for laughs, but it's hard to laugh at something like that.
But it's, also, like, a drama. Like, it's like, that. I guess that's my main issue. It's, like, it's just too much.
It gets a little muddled.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the part where, like, reading the book would have been beneficial, because maybe in the book it is more tonally comedic. Or maybe it is more tonally serious.
Yeah, I just don't know.
But, like, watching it on screen, it kind of becomes, like, a little weird. I kept taking it as a comedy show. So I guess I just picked a side and rolled with it.
Yeah, whereas I feel like my interpretation was, like, I just didn't know what I was expecting. But I feel like it's still, like, I'm trying to think of, like, a way to put it. But yeah, no, like, British humor, I do think that there's a lot of things that are really funny.
It's really dry.
It is very dry, but it's just not, like, I guess just not usually my thing.
Yeah. So it just kind of threw you for a loop.
Yeah, and it's not something, like, I really, like, prepare for.
I don't know if you noticed this, but I 100% noticed this. It is a gay baiting show.
Yes. 100%, yes.
Oh my god. These two main dudes need to be married. I don't understand how they're not married. I mean, we'll get back to it, but
more of that BBC shit.
Yes. Oh my god, Sherlock, you ruined my life.
And see, I never embraced that, so this was like my first experience with the true gay bait of BBC.
Yeah. Oh god.
It's rough. It's rough.
But that was one of my main issues. Other than that, I just feel like the story itself, I would have liked less of everyone else and more of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be that they're the ones who truly carry the show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the other actors, and I don't want to discredit their, like, acting abilities, and I know some of them are probably famous.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I only really knew David Tennant and Michael Sheen, so I was like, that's why I'm watching it, is for these two anyway.
Yeah, and I think that's what they really had their catch, is like, oh yeah, people love these characters.
That was the reasoning for the marketing, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
That's why it was, like, a lot of them, because they're probably, like, the headlining names.
Yeah, but, like, I still feel like there was so much, like, more stuff, like, I guess to better prepare you for what you're about to watch.
You would just have wanted a little bit more content.
Yeah, because, like, you just, like, look at the advertising, you're like, oh, yeah, it's just going to be the angel and demon the whole show.
Yeah, and it's going to be, like, them being cute.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, I'm ready for that.
It just, like, shows all of, like, the best of David Tennant and Michael Sheen.
The writing is still very English, in my opinion, because of, like, the way they, like, set up the baby swapping situation, and, like, how they talked about, how they make jokes at, like, how the demons are kind of assholes, and all the angels are assholes, and all the demons are kind of incompetent. I'm feeling those sort of humor things, because I always feel like English humor is more about, like, degrading yourself compared to others. So it's real funny that they're kind of just poking holes at the whole religious thing, which really brought joy to me watching it.
Yeah, I guess, like, with my thing, it's, like, there's a lot of just, like, unexpected, kind of, like, gross things, and I'm just, like, I'm not about this.
I feel like they spent all of their money on making the demons look ugly, and they were just like, oh, shit, the angels gotta look angelic, just throw some gold on them, they'll be fine. I was like, shit, okay.
Spending all this money on contacts for all the demons.
It is a miniseries, so they probably didn't have a high budget to begin with.
No, and I mean, that's totally fine, too. It doesn't, like, reflect that much. And like I said, these are only the issues and stuff that I have with it. Like I said, like, the witch, what is his name? The witch finder dude? That whole, like, mini thing just, like, threw me off.
Oh, the witch hunting guy.
Yeah, that weird old guy.
I think his main point was to get the other guy to get with the girl.
Yeah.
I wish I knew their names. This is how little I gave a shit about them.
That's the thing. It's like, it's such like such a non-show about it, I guess. Like, there's just so much about them that I just was like, this, what even is this show?
Right, I feel that. Maybe it was too long of a miniseries. Who knows?
No, I think it was a good length for something that, like, begins and ends, though.
Oh, that is true. I did like the ending.
Yeah, and I like that. I mean, it's kind of open ending, but this works so well on its own that I don't need a season 2.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't expect it. I think it's just one book anyway.
Yeah.
So why would there need to be another one?
Yeah, and that's just so rare nowadays that anything doesn't have, like, a million sequels and prequels and everything.
Yeah, I agree. I guess we can move on to what we're already technically talking about, what we liked about the show.
Well, I feel like I've just been bashing a lot, but seriously, I'm obsessed with this show, so I do really actually like it.
I'm very much indifferent, but what I like is I like Crowley the best, and I very much enjoy his relationship with the angel. I enjoy their banter. I enjoy a lot of the jokes. My favorite joke in the whole series has to be the one where he desperately wants holy water, and like his angel friend is like, no, why? I'm not gonna give you a suicide, like, exit out of this situation and all that. And he's like, no, I just need it. And then it comes back into play later, and he kills a demon with it. And it's almost the most stupidest way. It's a bucket over the fucking door, a fucking prank. And I love it so fucking much. It, like, brought me to fucking my knees, because it was so perfect. It was just the best way
that must
to
be,
use
like,
it.
an example of, like, the British humor, because I'm like, this is dumb. Come on, it's just a prank with holy water. Like, it was too serious. And like,
I liked
at the
it.
same time.
I like a lot of... You know what? I'm more accustomed to British shows, because I like IT Crowd and, like, Red Dwarf, which are, like, both some of the most driest comedy, but I enjoy it. So I guess to me, I was just like, yeah, this is like watching... What was that one movie? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and like IT Crowd kind of rolled into one for me. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I was having a good time.
That's like the thing too. It's like I do still like the humor, but like it doesn't like work sometimes for me. And like the best parts of the show for sure is Crowley and Aziraphale, and like their banter and like everything about like them. That's what I love about the show. I could watch the entire show with just like cutting out every time I see one of them.
Well, you've already basically explained that you would prefer the show just be them. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, but like more, I guess, different with it is like what I like about them is just like watching that like relationship develop over time. And like I feel like that's what makes the show for me.
Like, I know we're not writers, but I do like how even though a lot of the other characters don't have a lot going on for them, they do serve a purpose to gain and progress the story.
Yeah, but that's like the thing too. It's like I would have liked more of that to be like...
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like it just needed a direction with like some of those characters. Like, choose like what you really want to make your main. Well,
here's the thing. I think that the characters are there for their reasons and they play their parts, and I feel like I get where you're coming from, where you feel like it's not big enough, but I feel like the small reasons they're there kind of brings enough reasoning for me for their existence. Like, the reason the guy's there to be with the witch lady is so that he can break the computer. The reason the witch lady is there, in my opinion, is because that last note that's supposed to be in the book, the only book that she has that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world, and so that they don't die from their last hour in the show. Because by that little piece of paper falling out of that book, and by I can't say his name. Aziraphale getting the book and reading everything, they knew how to accomplish their goals and all that other stuff by running into her and shit like that.
Oh, and I'm not saying they're, like, bad and everything, too.
Yeah,
like,
I just feel like they're small reasons, but I feel like in the grand scheme of all of the book and the series and the writing, that reason is enough for their existence.
Yeah, and it's not like I want to cut them all out. Like, that's definitely not my thing. Like, I think it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I definitely understand why they're there. I just, like, I don't know. I wish I, like, knew more of that going in. It was my idea. But, like...
You just felt tricked.
I did feel tricked. I was like, this is just gonna be this long, slow burn romance. But, I mean, I'm glad. Like, it really is, like, a good story overall. And I like that there is, like, an Armageddon story, because I feel like it's so accurate to, like, actually, like, how Armageddon's planned and, like, all of that shit. Like, they did their research.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, there's a lot of, like, really biblical stuff that I didn't know, but you were like, oh yeah, that's a thing, and that's who that person is, and I was like, oh, jeez, okay.
That's, like, a lot of reason why I like it. Like, all of the story, it's just, like, or even, like, the Jesus thing. Like, it's so accurate, and I can see why it makes a lot of, like, Christians mad with, like, a female god and, like, Black Adam and Eve and stuff, but it's, like, you weren't there, you don't know.
Right. I mean, I like the Black Adam and Eve thing because life began in Africa. Why wouldn't they be black?
But yeah, if Christians say that it's not, like, accurate, like, it really is. Like, if you see that Jesus scene, that's, like, almost word for word.
Like what happened in the book?
In the Bible book.
It's a book! Yeah!
I was just, because it's just funny because this is a series of, are you talking about the Good
yeah.
Omens book or are you talking about the Bible book? But I feel like that's probably why I enjoy it so much, is like, wow, I actually am Christian for a reason, to watch this stupid show and get
the references. I did not, because I was not raised Christian, but I was like, I don't understand what the things are.
That's a little more about us, though.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Okay, but we're essentially getting to the point where we enjoy the most in the episode. Yep, the shipping. Yeah.
That's what makes the show for me.
Yeah, it is the main reason I finished it. I mean, granted, it's only 6 episodes, so it's not like a hard watch.
Yeah.
You could get it done. We got it done in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, of course you need it the whole day. But I was like, this is a good enough slow burn for me.
Ooh.
I do like how they meet. That's very good. I enjoy their, like, slow burn through history. That I hate that it's all one episode. I wish it was, like, kind of brought it out throughout the series, or if there was more than one episode about their history, because I was more interested in, like how they progressed through time. And they went through some very basic and some really critical points in time with them. And I just enjoy, like, their characters in general. Mm-hmm. Like, how both of them are obsessed with, like, human things.
Like with what you're saying, like, Aziraphale's, like, human obsession is, like, food. It's just so relatable. And, like, also, like, books.
Yeah.
And, like, they just love, like, humans so much that they're willing to band together and, like, work together.
I don't know if it's, like, mostly humans as much as they love human things. And so they're like, this is our home. Uh-huh. We love it. We are friends here. Let's save it.
Yes.
And to me, that motivation is hardcore. Yes, that's like 100% something I would join in with a character for. That motivation speaks worlds to me, because it's like, it's your planet, it's our planet, and like there's all these things that matter. And even though they can't die and they live forever, it was like those little bit of like that little bit of happiness that they get from that is enough for them to risk their whole situation for.
Like risk like both of their like sides. I love it.
Oh my god, I do too. And their dynamic is they're so similar because they both love human things and they've been on Earth for so long, but yet different because one's a demon and one's an angel, and their like character growths are like really obvious.
Yeah, but like what I also like about them too, it's like even though they are like an angel and a demon respectively, like they're kind of not like, Aziraphale's not like a good angel and like Crowley's not a good demon. Like, yeah. Like he's kind of nice, like, and then like Aziraphale's kind of like can be kind of mean sometimes too, or like he like possesses a body at one point. That's like a demon thing.
I think
he's willing to break the rules.
Here's my thing about that part, because when Aziraphale has to do that, he's thinking, what would Crowley do in this moment? Or at least that's what I read. He didn't say that, but his mind was like, the guy was like, only demons possess bodies. He was like, oh, we will find out. Like, I have to do this because this is what I'm passionate about. And I like how, like, Crowley, he has those, like, moments when he's by himself and he's, like, weak and he's like, I didn't want to be a demon. It's just being a demon was so easy back in the day. Why is it so hard now? And he won't kill kids, and it's just, like, little things like that it just, like, speaks worlds to his character. He's just a very selfish dude. He just wants to do stuff for himself. How he's not good at making up schemes and he's not good at being evil because he really doesn't care. And he only does stuff because it's expected of him, and he lies about doing stuff because he really doesn't do shit, and he takes the credit for it because he doesn't want to be bothered with it. It's really good.
Or like Aziraphale's like character development goes from like where he doesn't want to like really upset people or like doesn't want to like save himself, like Crowley always has to like save him, but where he finally starts taking charge and like he decides to like do something with the guard at the end when he's like the woman.
Oh yeah, when he was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. Or like he's about to like shoot the kid like after all this time of like, because he started to see the greater good aspect and stuff, and he was willing to like, he was actually like willing to do some dirty work. And that's just like, yes.
I did like how he got character development without actually having to shoot a child.
Oh god, yeah, no, that would have been bad. But like the fact that he was willing to risk it.
Yeah, which is enough. It's enough shows that he's grown beyond that. I do like, if we want to go into like the nitty gritty, because we're kind of just like sipping around it, but the aspect of shipping these two characters together, in the fandom, from what I've seen, it's really not that bad right now. Maybe because it's just new and it just started and not everyone has Amazon Prime. But, like, within the fandom, I'm not seeing a lot of hatred between, like, old fans to new fans. I'm kind of seeing, old fans embracing the new fans' point of view and stuff like that, even though they've only ever just, like...
Yeah, no, I've noticed it's really not toxic for right now. Oh, God, yeah, just for right now. It's probably going to get there.
We'll see. I mean, most fandoms get bad. But, like, as of in this moment, it's a good time to watch this show and be part of the fandom and see some cute fan art. I also think it's interesting about, like, angel sexuality compared to demon sexuality and how they're, like, they live forever and yet they don't need, probably, like, this is, like, probably the beginning of their romance. They've been friends for, like, ever, and I don't know if that was, like, a blink in the eye for them or if they've just been grown used to, like, watching things change over time.
And also their loyalties to their own, like, people, too.
Right. I think this is, like, the beginning of what could possibly become a romance, and that's almost exciting to see it develop, but not need closure, because I don't want a season 2, and I don't want to see what happens to them. But it's almost comforting. It's like, the fact that neither of them had romantic options is because angel and demon sexuality doesn't require those things. It's just refreshing to see that what they really care about is each other, may it be platonic or not.
I mean, even if it's like just platonic and everything, that you can't deny that there's a love there, and there's been like a love there. Like you can even just watch it throughout like those years in that like flashback as things get more and more like personal, like where they kind of are more like just casual, and then they start becoming more, they start doing favors for each other, they like break each other out of situations. Well, Crowley saves Aziraphale.
Yeah, they bend the rules a bit for each other.
Yeah, but it's just so fun to watch that sequence all the way up into the like, you go too fast for me, Crowley, which just, God, it gets my heart every time. And it's like, I know it's probably like a driving thing, but the way that like Michael Sheen says it is just so like sweet.
Yeah. Oh my God, that part at the end where Crowley was like, just move in with me. Just casually, just throws it into a conversation, and you're like, oh my God. My shipping mind was going haywire, and it was like, no.
Or the fact that, like, even after, like, their big fight and everything, like, Crowley's still, like, 100% like, oh, no, we're still gonna run off into the stars together.
Yeah, he still is planning a whole trip for them to get away.
God.
Because he can't imagine leaving him here.
I mean, I know this is just my shipper heart, but I see Crowley, like, having been in love with him since, like, day one, and then I see, like, Aziraphale falling for him, like, after
over
the
time.
books.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was when he, like, realized. I mean, that's just my shipper heart, but I'm just like, ooh, that's what I feel.
Little stuff like how Crowley will save books for him because he knows how much books are important, and he knows this particular book is important to him right now. There's certain things where it does get a little taxing with the gay baiting because people make comments about how, like, oh, is your love fest over? Is like, oh, you don't need him in your life and stuff like that.
Your boyfriend can't save you.
Stuff like that. And I'm just like...
It's just like, I know
Sherlock
what you're implying.
Sherlock all over again.
See, I was never there for that. But yeah, no, I feel like sometimes it's just like, just do it. If you want to, like, really make a statement, just do it. But
I think you made an important a statement when we were watching the show. You were like, there is a woman god, Black Adam and Eve. Why can't these two angel demon guys just be in a platonic romantic relationship if that's the route you're going anyway? And I agree, because it's just almost insufferable. Because there's that moment where the bookshop gets set on fire, and Crowley walks in and is like, my best friend died. It almost felt hollow having to say those when we've watched it be more than friendship as it goes on. But I don't know, maybe it's just my mind, and it is our opinion. But my opinion feels that in that moment it would have been more impactful if it'd been like, the most important person in my life died, or you'd be like, my romantic partner died, or my boyfriend died, or
even just like Aziraphale died. Like,
yes, just his name would have been just more impactful.
Or like they took him
and
from me.
He was so upset, but it needed that extra oomph to make you really care.
It's just like one of those things where I feel like the actors probably like were reading it as a love thing, and like the people who did the music probably did like a love thing, because like even in that scene, like Somebody to Love was playing.
Yes.
Like, come on.
Find me somebody to love. Yeah, like what? Yeah.
Like there's just so much like cues. It's just like if you're. It was just hard. It was just hard for me in my little heart.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe the book might play it up a little bit better, and the show is just being kind of, like, scared, and I'm not sure whose decision it was in where it was around, but I wish there was more. There's just a little more attention to possibly just giving it their shot. But, there's also a thing, it's like, maybe the guys who wrote the book didn't want it. Mm-hmm. And
I mean, you can't just deny that there is a love there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, platonic, romantic, whatever. Like, you can tell just how much they love for each other. Even, like, ending sequence, they're, like, dining and together. And, like, after everything, and that, like, romantic song plays. And it's just, like, kill me.
So, I think overall, I enjoyed the show. I don't intend to watch it again. Mm-hmm. I do intend to probably read fanfic and see some fan art. Because it's real cute.
I mean, I've seen it 2 times already in the past week. I'm going to take a little break, but mostly just be, like, in my, like, fandom zone, because that's how I be. But
so I'm going to give it 2 snowballs in hell as a rating.
I'm going to call it, it was about as chaotic as 5 Demons in Heaven.
Yeah. What was that one joke they had about, like, it was about as enjoyable as, like, how many angels can dance on a pin? And
ducks!
It's one.
No, I'm
kidding. Ducks! God! Oh, God.
That was probably my favorite joke.
No, that was a good fucking joke. Oh, shit.
See, that one hit me. I got that one. Because, like, it was just, like, it was, like, a wait for it joke. And I liked it.
It just came out of nowhere, because Crowley was just like, ducks! And you're like, what? And he has to be like, that's what water rolls off of. And you're like, God fucking damn it, Crowley.
That's, like, another thing, too. Like, I do not think that Crowley's, like, as cool as he thinks he is, and it's hilarious.
I think he's very much a goof, yes.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's, like, so appealing for him, because, like, I feel like when Aziraphale plays him, he's, like, more cool than, like, he actually is.
Yeah.
Because he's so fake cool and such a doofus.
I think he's, like, perpetually seems like he's drunk, but I think he's just, like, high on life.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter. You can email us at canonmisfire@gmail.com.
Definitely give us some ratings. Follow us wherever you may find this podcast.
And some feedback.
Feedback would be great. Send us some information. We are going to be more active on Twitter. Mm-hmm. We're going to start putting up some polls, seeing what you guys want us to do next, and just, like, giving updates and letting you guys know what's going on in our lives when it comes to the next episode.
Mm-hmm. This is the start of season 2.
Us.
Yeah, and a whole new us.
Let us know how you feel about our intro. Did you enjoy our intro song?
Did you like our singing?
And as always, no babies on deck.
No babies on deck.